Hello, everyone. What is up? Welcome back to another episode of My Thoughts Exactly. Thank you so much for joining me today. I am so happy that you are here. Happy Thursday, you guys. I hope you guys have been having a great week so far. And to give you the weekly weather report here in Nashville, it is cold. It's honestly, you guys, it's freezing. I know I was saying earlier, I can't wait for fall weather. I can't wait for hoodie season, sweatshirts, all of that. It is so freaking cold here. I was talking to my friend about it earlier, how in Nashville, I feel like we have 6 months hot, 6 months cold. It was 6 months hot. Now it is 6 months just cold. It's just freezing. It's very, very cold here. And not to say that I don't like it, because I actually love it. It is very cold, but if I had to choose between it being the 6 months hot or the 6 months cold, I'm choosing cold every time. It's definitely fall weather. It's cloudy. It's stormy. It's been drizzling a little bit. We've had the fireplace going. We are in full fall gear and in the fall spirit over here. So I hope wherever you are, if you love fall like I do, you are feeling the vibes as well. I hope you guys have been having a great week. I hope that you have something to look forward to this weekend. And with today's episode, I'm really excited about it. We have done many episodes in the past about like a heartbreak pep talk or about, what would Sav do? Think of today's episode as like a motivational pep talk, like a pick-me-up pep talk. If you are the type of person that always says that you want to work towards a specific goal, you want to have more self-discipline, you want to hold yourself more accountable, this episode is for you, because that is what we are going to be talking about today. That is what we are going to be diving into. So with that being said, let's jump right on into it today. So it is no secret to you guys, I have said it time and time again, I am very type A. I am someone who thrives in structure. Structure equals stability in my mind. I am someone who thrives with plans. I like having a plan. I like having goals. I like having, daily plans, weekly plans, monthly plans, yearly plans, and the same thing with goals. You just interchange the word plans with goals. Same thing. I am someone who thrives in that environment and someone who really likes to have that set of structure in my life. It makes me feel more productive. It makes me feel like I am accomplishing what I need to accomplish. And overall, it just makes me happier because, again, I am fulfilling that part of my life. Now, I know for some people, and including myself, I am very guilty of it. And honestly, that's part of the reason I wanted to talk about this today, because I feel like for myself too, it's very easy to experience, this drive and this motivation and wanting to achieve these goals that you have, but it's also equally as easy, if not easier, to kind of let it go a little bit and to, after a little bit of time, let yourself off on some things and to not be as accountable with those goals and to lack that motivation that you once had. I feel like it's easier to let go of your goals sometimes than it is to maintain them. So again, that's why I wanted to talk about this today, because I feel like I always like to kind of keep up with the episodes that we do here with what's kind of correlating in my life. That way I feel like I can give you guys like an accurate and authentic version of how I feel about the topic. And that's really why I wanted to talk about this today. Also because you guys voted for it on the My Thoughts Exactly Instagram. I did a poll. So I think that we're in sync a little bit here this week. But I do think that, I oftentimes feel this too, and I've been feeling it lately, that it is very easy to, have a lot of goals for yourself and want to be so motivated and self-disciplined, but so often it is easy as well to lose that motivation, to lose that train of consistency. And so that's what I wanted to talk about today. So often in life, we all have something that we want to accomplish, whether that is a specific lifestyle, whether that is a career goal, a fitness goal, a financial goal, a personal goal, and we don't know where to start and don't know where to and how to maintain consistency with it. Oftentimes we will look around in the people in our lives, we will look on social media, and we will see everyone else who seems like they're conquering their goals and they are killing it and they're thriving. And we will try and pick and choose little things that we see from their lives and apply it to ours, like little things that they do to help them succeed, to help them conquer, to help them accomplish their goals. goals, and we try to apply that to our lives. However, we realize and are soon shown when doing that not everyone else's plan of life is going to fit for us. Not everyone's, blueprint to success, blueprint to accomplishing goals is going to fit for us because everyone's life is different. And so this can kind of create a cycle of then feeling discouraged because we feel like we're falling off from our original plan, feeling like we're not maintaining the goals that we originally set out for ourselves. And sometimes in those moments, it feels easier to just give up. It's very, very easy for us to make excuses for ourselves as to why we can't do something or why we can't obtain our goals because it's the easier solution. It is easier for us to sit here and say why we can't do something, whether that's because, I can't go to the gym, it's too late, it's too late, I'm tired, or I'll start on Monday, or whatever your goal is for yourself. It is very easy to tell yourself why you can't do it. We so often feed our brain with why we won't be able to accomplish things rather than why we are able to do something, why we are able to conquer a goal, a task. We feed ourselves this negativity, and in turn, it really drowns us, and it definitely makes it more difficult to achieve what we originally set out for because all we have then are these negative thoughts and these voices telling us that we can't accomplish things, which is, quite frankly, bullshit. It's not true. We can accomplish anything. And so often in life, we sit there and we make excuses for ourselves, which inevitably is just prolonging the process. If we all took advantage of the fact and really shut down all of those excuses, we would all be so much further along. And I'm talking to myself too. I, in the past, have had a tendency of making excuses time and time again for myself, telling myself why I didn't need to do something that specific day that was going to help me reach my goal because, I can do it tomorrow. Or, it's fine. It's really not that important anyways. I will trick myself into thinking that what I originally set out for, the goals that I have had for myself, aren't as important as I initially made them because it's easier for me in the moment to not follow through with it. The easier solution in life is maintaining what we're already doing. It's not changing your routine and structure because if we change our routine, we change our structure, that adds in a level of uncomfortability, that adds in a level of the unknown. But if we just, sit back and do what we've been doing this whole time, it's comfortable, it's easy, but that is not going to get us any closer to our goals. That is self-sabotage. That is not going to help us. Now, the next thing I want to talk about is the someday excuse. This is something that I have been so guilty of in my life, time and time again. I am someone who, first of all, if you don't know what the someday excuse is, the someday excuse, which again is another excuse, so it falls under the excuses category, is the excuse where you say, I will start next week. I'll start next month. I'll start in 3 months. Oh, we're coming up to the new year. I'll start in January. That is the someday excuse, not taking responsibility for where you are at now and putting that responsibility on your future self because it's easier and more convenient. But with the someday excuse, again, you are prolonging the results of your goal. You are prolonging what you can accomplish in that time. You have to stop giving yourself the someday excuse. You should want more from yourself. Expect more from yourself. Again, it just falls into that more convenient category. It's more convenient for us to not start today because we have all these things going on and we're so busy. But if you wait around for life to slow down, you are going to be waiting forever because life is not going to slow down. And if something is important to you, like conquering a goal, accomplishing a task, you will make time for it. Right? They always say, if they wanted to, they would, in terms of relationships. If you want to make the time to do something, you will do it. If you want to make the time to complete a task, you will do it. And so with this whole someday excuse, it's just another reason to set you back. There's all these obstacles that are going to be in the way when it comes to life and when it comes to goals and when it comes to self-discipline. You can always find an excuse. Literally, it could be anything. Like you could always find an excuse, but you have to be able to recognize that you are stronger than those excuses. You are more capable than those excuses. And again, you should expect more from yourself. One of my favorite quotes, I think I love it just because it's in One Tree Hill. And you guys have probably heard it like a bunch, but it is that quote that says, One day you're 17 waiting around for someday. Then you wake up and realize that someday is today and this is your life. So just let that sit with you for a second, because every time I hear it, I think it's just so accurate. We wait around so often for just things in life. We wait around for the next celebration. We wait around for the next big day. We wait around for the next goal. We wait around for the next whatever it is, but we don't realize once we're in the midst of life that this is our life. I think that when I rewatched One Tree Hill a couple months ago. I think I told you guys this. I rewatched it and this really hit me because I feel like so often I've been such a planner in my life. I'm always like, okay, well, this is what this month looks like. This is what in 3 months is going to look like in 1 year. And the fact of the matter is that we can never predict, right? We don't know what's going to happen between now and a year from now. But what we do know is that if you're just waiting around for that someday, or you're waiting around for the right time, there's never going to be a right time. You just have to do it. You just have to start. So just take that into consideration and really just think about that, because it is your life. It is not anyone else's, and you need to take control of it. And it's not going to be easy, but it will be worth it. Another quote that I love, I saw it on Instagram a while ago. I will post it once this episode goes live just to remind you guys a little bit. But the quote is in 10 years of your life, make sure you got to say, well, no, this is the quote. Sorry, I'm trying to remember it. In 10 years, make sure you get to say that you chose your life and you didn't settle for it. I think that is so freaking important. And just interchange 10 years with 3 months, 6 months, 1 year, 2 years, think about it that way. Don't settle in your life. Don't settle for your life. Choose what you want out of your life. Take control of your life. I just think that a lot of times we think that so many things are out of our control, which is true, but then we forget what actually is in our control, because again, it's easier, it's more convenient to just let go of our responsibilities when it comes to a particular task and a particular goal. So let's start with, and let's talk about how to really do this, how to get into self-discipline and structure. Now, a lot of times what I like to do, you can go one of two ways about this. The first way that you can go about it is working backwards, right? So you say, all right, in 6 months, where do I want to be? Write it down, whether that's career goals, financial goals, your personal goals, your fitness goals, whatever it is, write it all down. And then you're going to make a new list. And with every goal you have, every category that you have, so let's say you have financial goals, personal goals, fitness goals, then you're going to make 3 new lists, one for financial, one for personal, one for fitness. And you're going to write in that column for that goal. So for career goal, write down everything that needs to be accomplished so you can achieve what you want to and be where you want to be in the next 6 months. So you have your goal, you have where you're going to be in 6 months. What is it going to take for you to get there? And then you're going to write all that down. Do the same thing for every category that you have. So that is the first way you can go about it. That is the working backwards method. Now, the other way you can do it, if you're like, Savannah, I just want to take it day by day. I don't want to think about 6 months from now. I don't want to think about a year from now. I got you. Don't worry. If you're thinking about wanting to do just daily and weekly goals, what you do is you sit down with a planner or write it out on a piece of paper. It's just really important to write it down. That way you have it, you can see it, you can put it on your fridge, you can put it in your bathroom. It's just important to have something that's actually tangible and physical and you can see it. So let's say you want to go the daily, weekly route. Write down, again, your categories, your goals. Write down your goals for the week. So for me, let's do mine. My fitness goals for the day, my fitness goals and health goals for the week. My goals for the day, I always like to take my vitamins. I always like to drink a gallon of water. Again, these are just health stuff. I always like to go to bed before 10 o'clock or at 10 o'clock. And again, that's just a health thing. And I always like to wake up before 7:30. So those are my daily goals when it pertains to health and fitness. Now, when it comes to my weekly goals for health and fitness, I like to work out 4 times a week. I like to go on at least 3 walks a week, whether that be with church, whether that be in the morning, whether it be in the evening, whether it be on a weekend, it doesn't matter. It's just those are my weekly goals. I don't have to choose what specific day I'm going to do those goals, but it's going to happen sometime in that week. So if you're someone that, doesn't like to think about 6 months down the line, doesn't like to think a year down the line, think about the smaller, more attainable goals that you can accomplish in your days and in your weeks. Now, I think just in general, it is very, very important to have goals when it pertains to being self-disciplined, when it pertains to motivation and structure, because if you don't have goals and you have nothing you're working towards, then you are not going to feel motivated to accomplish anything. Like quite literally, how can you? You can't. It's just not, it doesn't work like that. You have to have some sort of goal that you are working towards. But when it comes to your goals, you want to do things that are attainable to you and realistic for you. And I do feel like the goal in and of itself and the goal surrounding all of the littler goals is to always surpass what our goals are, right? The goals are just like the checking point of like, this is where we want to be. Obviously, I think all of us can agree to some extent that we would all like to surpass our goals. If we could do better than what we originally set out to do, like who wouldn't want that? But the goal is just the checking point. And it's just really important to have attainable, realistic goals because first of all, you're not going to feel as overwhelmed. You're going to feel like, okay, these are things that I can do. These are things that I know that I can trust myself with, that I can hold myself accountable for. And also, if you're doing things that are realistic and attainable, you're going to feel a bigger sense of accomplishment once you obtain them. But if you are setting these wild, crazy goals that you know yourself are not going to be able to accomplish, you are setting yourself up for disappointment and discouragement, and you're going to feel like, oh, well, what's the point of any of this anyways? It's just going to start a downward spiral. It's important to remember to hold yourself accountable because you are responsible for your own actions. We learn this in like elementary school. Like we literally, remember in like when you're in first grade, second grade, like kindergarten, I forget like what year they teach you this, but they always say like, you're responsible for your own actions, like, consequences and all those things. Like it's very true. And when we pertain it to this too, it's like we are responsible. Our actions are going to have consequences. If we allow distractions into our life and fall victim to those distractions, and the distractions are, slowing us down from where we want to be, slowing us down from our goals, we need to be accountable enough and have the self-discipline to be like, I'm not going to engage in that. Because when you have goals, you want your actions to reflect that. If we have a goal, we want to do things that are going to get us closer to achieving that goal, not things that are going to set us further back. Now, again, if your goal is to, be super healthy and cut out, sugar and whatever it is, and then you're constantly reaching for the processed snacks and the processed foods that aren't good for you, that is not going to be helping you to obtain your goals. Just as like if you are trying to cut someone out of your life, right? Like let's switch the goals for a second. You're trying to cut someone out of your life. You're trying to distance from them. You're trying to remove them from, your circle for whatever reason. They don't bring, good energy to your life. They bring you down. They bring negativity. You're trying to remove them from your life, yet you constantly let them back in, whether this is an ex or a friend, like whatever, like whether you're constantly letting them back in, you're constantly picking up their phone call, like you're not doing anything to help activate that goal, to help get you to reach that goal. If you're having financial problems, financial struggles, yet electively making irresponsible financial decisions, again, you're doing yourself a disservice. We want our actions and our goals to line up. Balance is very important in life, and I think we need to acknowledge that. Like we can have our goals and you can, you can structure them however you want that to look for you. So I'm not trying to be the super hard drill sergeant right now. But, when you think about your goals, think about how it works for you and how they're going to be the most attainable. So balance is key. I feel like I'm really just drilling into you guys today, but I do think it's important to have this conversation and have that pick me up and have that pep talk. So structure your goals how they're going to work best for you, but also remember that your actions, they need to align with your goals in order to achieve them. My friend told me this one time, and it was like I had a trainer like years and years and years ago who she told me this, and it always stuck with me. She says, pick your poison or pick your pain, or pick your poison and pick your pain. Sorry, pick your poison and pick your pain. She used to tell me that when it comes to your goals, you can either do one of two things. You can continue your current cycle and live with the pain of not improving, live with the pain of not evolving, or you can work towards your goals and have the temporary pain of uncomfortability and change while you are achieving them and while you are elevating your life and your choices. And I don't know about you guys, but I would rather have the temporary pain if that means I'm elevating my life, I'm elevating my choices, and I am obtaining my goals. Like, to me, I would so much rather have that. You know, they always say, what was it? The definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting different results. Like, we can apply that to all facets of life. We apply it to relationships, we apply it to friendships, we apply it, to financial goals, we apply it to fitness goals. Really, like, the cliches are a cliche for a reason. Sometimes I think that they're silly, sitting here and having me read those to you or say those things to you and read these quotes, but they really ring true for a reason. People aren't saying these things just for shits and giggles. Like, they actually do work. So let's talk about self-discipline and how to obtain that. And this is one of those things where you guys are not going to like my answer, but it just is what it is. We were just not going to like my answer, and that's okay. In order to maintain self-discipline, in order to maintain motivation and structure, you just have to do it. That's it. You just do. And I know you're like, Savannah, I hate that answer. Trust me too. Me too. That's why I've fallen off from my goals countless times in the past, but you just have to do it. You're going to have to find ways that remind you of your goals, and you're going to have to set goals that are important to you. You have to hold yourself accountable, whatever that looks like for you. These goals were made for a reason. They are things that you want to accomplish in your life. And if that is important enough to you, then you will accomplish it. If it is, you have to really dig deep and understand why this is so important to you. And you have to remind yourself of that every single day. And, when it comes to how maintaining self-discipline can look like, there are several ways that you can go about it that are little like tips and tricks to help you move along through the process. The first one, okay, this is kind of silly. The first one is an accountability partner. Now, I remember I used to date this guy like a couple years ago, and he told me that he had an accountability partner. And I was like, sir, what the fuck is an accountability partner? Now that I'm older and I have my own goals, I have my own aspirations, I am trying to maintain a certain level of self-discipline, I completely understand what an accountability partner is and why it can be so beneficial. So for me, when talking about an accountability partner, I'm going to pertain it to my health and fitness goals. I know I keep going back to those types of goals specifically, but for me in my life right now, those are the ones that are most prominent. So again, in talking about my health and fitness goals, have a friend that you tell, listen, like, these are my goals for right now. I need someone in my life to help remind me of my goals, to help keep me on track. Let's have daily check-ins. Like, I know for me personally, when I've been on my heavy health and fitness routines, I'll have friends who will want to be going through the same goals at the same time. Like, that's what's really great, is when you have friends who want to accomplish the same goals and you're kind of both working on a common goal together. And like, again, like health and fitness stuff, like I would voice message my friend like every day and be like, okay, so this is where I'm at, or every 3 days. It doesn't have to be excessive. It just depends on how close you are to the friend. Like me and my friends just love talking to each other. So I would every 3 days, every day be like, hey, this is my plan for the day. This is what I'm having for dinner. This is what my workouts are looking like for the week. Like, this is where I'm at. And I know for my friend, she would send me pictures of her when she was at the gym and be like, made it to the gym today. Or she would send me pictures of her gallon of water that she drank and being like, I'm halfway there. Like, things like that, where you are keeping each other accountable, and it's almost fun. Like, it's fun to be accomplishing things together. It's fun to be achieving those things together. So an accountability partner, I'm all for. I gave that guy a lot of shit for it back in the day, but I really do think that it's important. Second thing, if you're like, Savannah, I don't want to do that. Okay, two other things that I have where you can do on your own. First one is changing your phone background. Changing your phone background to something that reminds you of your goal. Whether that is, if you're like, my goal is, focusing on myself, getting rid of my toxic ex, literally make yourself your phone background. Some people may say that's narcissistic. I say, why not? I think it's just something like that. Or if you're talking about, let's see, if you have a goal to go on vacation in 6 months, saving up to go on vacation, like put where you want to go on vacation as your phone background. So every time you look at it, you have a constant reminder of like, okay, I'm still trying to save up. I'm still trying to, work towards my goal. Whatever it is, put it as your phone background and constantly remind yourself, have that reminder, have it in your face. Sometimes that's what's needed. Another thing you can do is write yourself little notes and stick it on your mirror in your bathroom, little affirmations, you've got this, and I know it's so cliche, it's so, whatever, but it's true. Like everyone likes to have that little boost. Everyone likes to have that encouragement. And if you're in a position where you're like, no one can give me that, be that for yourself, be that strong accountability partner for yourself, remind yourself, say, drink a gallon of water every day, or, we're saving up for this, or whatever your goal is. Everyone's goal is so different. That's why it's so hard to, give examples of goals, because everyone's is different. So just think about it in a way where you are really trying to give yourself that encouragement and enthusiasm around your goals, because when you wake up in the morning and you're like, oh, I just don't feel like it today, like give yourself that reminder. Like everyone needs that every once in a while, and that's okay. Like a habit takes a while to form, it takes anywhere between 21 to 66 days to form a habit. I've done my research on that. I heard that a couple years ago from my sister. She was telling me that, like, after one of my breakups, she was like, it takes 21 days to form a habit. Like if you're not talking to someone, like just give it 21 days. And I remember Googling it, and most people say from 21 to 66 days. Some people say from 21 to 284 days. So I like to give myself the benefit of the doubt and say 21 to 66. So, if you can just maintain doing little things every day, attainable things every day to reach your goal, it will ultimately become a habit. And then after a certain amount of time, it's just going to be instinctual. Like you're just going to keep doing it over and over and over again, because you're going to be forming a habit to do so. Now, another thing that I want to talk about is what my thoughts exactly episode would it be if I didn't tell you guys how valuable and worthy and just loved you are, and how important it is to remind yourself of those things, especially in something like this. When you are talking about goals, you're talking about what you want to achieve, it is important to remind yourself that you are worthy of achieving those goals. You are worthy of maintaining your goals. You are worthy of all of your wants and your desires. I feel like a lot of times when we set goals for ourselves, we can, have the excuses flowing in, the someday excuse, just any excuse in general. We always talk ourselves out of it, and we will self-sabotage ourselves for reasons either because it's easier, or sometimes we truthfully in our heart of hearts don't believe that we are worthy of maintaining those goals, worthy of achieving these things. And that is the biggest lie we tell ourselves. When we tell ourselves that we are not worthy of achieving these things, and when we can't obtain these goals, we are mentally setting ourselves back so far. You could be doing the physical things on the day to day, but you're going to be half-assing it, truthfully, because if your mental and your physical are not lining up in terms of what you're physically doing to achieve it, and then your mental state, like it's going to be your one foot in the door, one foot out the door. You're going to be half-assing it because you are not putting your entire self into it. If you're constantly in the back of your head, reminding yourself like, oh, you aren't good enough for this, or oh, you aren't worthy of this, like you're just not doing yourself any favors. You're self-sabotaging yourself. So you really have to remind yourself that you are worthy of accomplishing all good things in life. You are worthy of obtaining all of your desires, like all of these things that you want out of your life. You are capable of getting them. You are more than capable of You are more than capable of getting them. And it's really, really important to remind yourself of that so it doesn't get lost. That fact, that big component of it, that you are worthy of it, that you want this in your life, that this is what you want your life to look like you are worthy of that. So just remind yourself of that, especially in the times where you just feel like giving up, where you're like, this is taking too long, I don't want to do it. Remind yourself again your why, your reason for doing all of this. You have these goals for what? Is it for you? Is it for your family? Is it for whatever it is? Whatever your why is, whatever your reason is, part of your reason should always be yourself. But if there's a contributing factor to that, always go back and remind yourself who and what your why is, and remind yourself that you are so worthy of achieving all good things in life. So that's my little pep talk. That's my little big sister pep talk. But I did want to end this episode on a note where I had asked you guys what your current goals are, because I said, what are your goals? Let's manifest. And I want to go through some of them because we're going to manifest. We're going to put it out into the universe. We're going to really kickstart into accomplishing these goals. So the first one my goal is to get married, expand my faith, find a job that doesn't feel like work, and rejuvenate friendships. I love it. I have another one, taking more risks and breaking out of my comfort zone, not longing for my ex-boyfriend anymore, stop overthinking and be happy. I want to pass nursing school. Oh, girl, you got it. Okay. And then I want to break the trauma bond with my narcissistic partner. Oh, I've been there. I have been there. You can do it. Okay. And then be healthy again, healing and becoming a better person, paying off my credit card debt, passing my exams, staying on track with my fitness journey to improve my mental health along the way, writing and publishing a book. Oh my God, I love that. I want to see the book when it's done. Then we have school and prepping for a new baby. Congratulations. That's so exciting. I want to be a full-time content creator and work for myself and have scheduling freedom. I want to get accepted into nursing school. I want to pay off my car loan. I want to heal from my past trauma. I love these and I love you guys. This just makes me so happy. To know that we're all working towards things in our life that are so vastly different from each and every person. All of those answers were so different, and all of those answers are going to take a different approach on how to accomplish them and how to achieve them. But I just, again, wanted to give you guys this pep talk to know that you've got it. You can totally do this. Anything, all of those goals that you were just saying, all of those things that you were, wanting to accomplish for yourself, you can do it. You can achieve it. I'm your biggest cheerleader. I'm on the sidelines. I am holding the sign up for you. You can do it. And I can't wait to see you guys accomplish your goals. We're all going to accomplish our goals. Let's go into 2024 with our goals either accomplished or halfway there, or, getting started on them. Let's make 2024. I always like to kind of go into the year a little bit ahead, meaning, everyone says, oh, on January 1st, I'm going to start this. It's no, I like to kind of do it in a way where I like to do it maybe 4 months, 5 months prior. This year I'm going a little late, so 3 months prior, and kind of get my shit together. That way, going into 2024, I already feel a sense of accomplishment. So we're going to all make 2024 the best. I don't know why this turns into a New Year's episode. It definitely isn't, but I hope you guys enjoyed this week's episode of My Thoughts Exactly. Thank you so much for tuning in with me today. Again, if you're new here, hi, my name's Savannah, and I'm your host of My Thoughts Exactly. Make sure you go ahead and hit that subscribe button. That way you never miss an episode. We post weekly every Thursday. You're not going to want to miss it. I'll be back next week with a brand new one for you guys, and I will see you then. Bye, guys.